Hey everyone, David here with T&D Sports Cards. Welcome back to our newest video. Today is our weekend Wauback, and I know we've done 82 before, but I really felt like looking for some big rookie cards. So we're gonna go way back to 1982 again. I guess the beauty of being able to do this is that we can hopefully find some different stuff. So we got a rather large variation of packs here. We'll start with 82 baseball, where we would be looking for mainly the Cal Ripken Jr. rookie, which has eluded me to this point. I do have a Fleer issue of it, but I can't find my tops, and I don't think I've ever owned a Donruss one. So we have a couple of packs of 82 tops, a couple packs of Fleer. We have 4 packs of the Donruss. And next with the football, we do have 4 packs of this. I was of Topps football, sorry. I was kind of hoping to obviously pull a Lawrence Taylor rookie card, but have yet to find an Anthony Munoz or a Ronnie Lott rookies, and it would be obviously pretty nice to find a second-year Joe Montana as well. There's also a lot of other cards we could potentially find in there that would be pretty nice. We've managed to pull a couple of Walter Paytons in our breaks. You know, that's always a good card to find as well. And lastly, with the hockey, I've opened these packs a few times. These are OPC. And I've managed to get a Ron Francis rookie on a couple of occasions, so that obviously was awesome. But I've yet to find a Dale Hawerchuk or a Grant Fuhr or Joe Mullen rookie cards. I've yet to find a Gretzky from this set. So any one of those cards would be pretty awesome to find. So with that, let's get into ripping these packs and see what we can find. So I think I'm going to start with the baseball. I will start with the tops. I have not opened packs from these in ages. I mean, literally ages. So as I mentioned, I have not had any luck finding my my Ripken. I know I have one somewhere, but it's eluded me to this point. All right, so we got a Dale Murphy, who really was a superstar in the 80s. He definitely is potentially a Hall of Fame candidate. Obviously, he's not made it to this point. All right, so we got Greg Luzinski. We got a second-year Kirk Gibson, who is not in the Hall of Fame either. He had a pretty nice career. Steve Henderson, Rick Camp, Keith Hernandez. He's another one who, to me, is borderline Hall of Fame. I mean, just being a Met fan and seeing what he did the years with the Mets, he would have my vote. That's a nice card. I'll put that aside. We have a George Brett in action card. He obviously is in the Hall of Fame. That's a nice card. Steve Trout. And what do we have here? We have a sticker of Enos Cabell. All right, so we got Jeff Newman, John Henry Johnson, Jim Rice. He is in the Hall of Fame. He had a great career, obviously. Kiko Garcia, Jerry Narron. And we have a Brewers team card here with their pitching and batting leaders. And Rob Piccolo rounds out our first Topps baseball pack. And on to our next one. And we have Jerry Royster. We have Tim Raines, who is obviously in the Hall of Fame. This is his second-year card. Mickey Rivers, Brian Kingman, Rod Carew in action, who is in the Hall of Fame. Julio Gonzalez, Carney Lansford, he was a very good player. Solid player for many years, well into the 80s. Larry Harlow. Got, Ken Oberkfell sticker. Greg Nettles, who was an excellent third baseman, along with being a good hitter as well. Bob Ojeda, when he was with the Red Sox. We had a Future Stars card here. My heart skipped a beat for just a second, but it's for the Red Sox. And, you know, Bruce Hurst was a fantastic pitcher for, I would say, at least 10, 11 years with the Red Sox and then eventually with the Padres. Dennis Worth, Enrique Romo, Pete Vukovich, who had some fame by being the feared hitter in the first Major League movie, and Mike Tyson, who is not the boxer. Okay, so that was 82 Topps baseball, and we obviously did not find a Ripken there, so we will move on to our Fleer packs now. This is the only one that I've been able to locate as far as Ripken rookies go. All right, so we have a sticker in here of the Orioles, which is the right team. We got Bruce Keeson, Warren Brewstar, Art Howe, Luis Leal, another Dale Murphy. That's funny. Not quite a Hall of Famer, but we'll put him over there. Dyer Miller, Lee Mazzilli, the Spaceman, Mr. Bill Lee, Ted Power, George Frazier, Gary Renicky, Roy Howell, Tim Blackwell, John Tudor, and Dell Unser, who was a solid player for a lot of the 70s into the early 80s. Got a Hall of Famer on the back here. And we got a Brave sticker for this pack. So we have Jim Dwyer, Ron Davis, Cesar Cedeno, Dave Stieb. He was a real good pitcher for, I don't know, 8 to 10, 11 years with the Blue Jays. Had a very solid career. Rick Mailer, Joe Pittman, Joe Edelman, or Joe Edelin, sorry. Freddie Patek, Gary Alexander, Bill Robinson, Andy Hassler, George Vukovich, Joe Niekro, Willie Upshaw, and our aforementioned Hall of Famer, Gaylord Perry. This is what the backs of the Fleer cards look like. He was pretty close to hitting that 300 number, which he did the very beginning of, I think it was the 82 season when he was with the Mariners. I believe that is when he achieved his 300th win. He doesn't look too pleased in that picture. All right, so that takes care of Topps and Fleer baseball. So we will get on to our Donruss packs here. We do have 4 of them. I decided I wanted to give myself at least a fighting chance to find a Donruss Ripken rookie card. And of course, with the Donruss, they had the puzzle pieces, and this year was, I don't know. Doesn't say on the back who it is here. Yeah, maybe we'll figure it out in some of the other packs. Okay. All right, so moving on to the cards here, we have Junior Kennedy, Jim Cott, with a very, very, very long career. Larry Sorensen, oh, here's a nice one. Badly miscut, but nonetheless, it is a Nolan Ryan. It's a nice shot, nice card. All right, so we have Jerry Garvin, Fernando's second-year card, Butch Weiniger, Jerry Royster, Mike Scioscia, Jamie Easterly. Oh, that's a cool card. I don't think I've owned this one. I definitely don't think I've owned this one. Very nice. Mr. Chicken there, Mr. San Diego Chicken. Well, I guess he became just the Chicken later on. Fake McBride, Dick Tidrow, Rick Dempsey, and a checklist. All right, so that is our first pack of Donruss. Let's move on to our next one here. Let's see if we can figure out who this... Oh, yes, that definitely looks like Babe Ruth. All right, so we put the mystery of that aside. Andy Hassler, Jim Beattie, Mark Littell, Greg Gross, Mike Schmidt. That's a nice one. This one's centered a little better than the Nolan Ryan, but it's still off a bit. But nonetheless, a nice card. These cards are in very, very nice shape. So far, all the ones we've opened have been nice, sharp cards. Dave Revering, Len Barker, Steve Garvey, Diamond King, Alfredo Griffin, Sparky Anderson, Floyd Bannister, Rob Wilfong, another Spaceman, Rick Camp, and Vern Rule. So we found a Mike Schmidt in there. And, ooh, Babe Ruth with part of his Red Sox jersey. Very neat. John Littlefield. Now, if we had found him in the Fleer set with a reverse negative, we would have found ourselves a very valuable card, but we did not. Pete Redfern, Eddie Murray. That's a nice one there. That's actually very nice. At least the centering on the sides is pretty good. I always got messed around with these. I was so used to the Topps cards before the Fleer and the Donruss even were issued, and the Topps cards flipped the other way. That's a nice card. Andre Thornton, he was a pretty good player for about 6 or 7 years, I want to say, with the Indians. Another Joe Niekro, Dennis Leonard, Steve Braun, Shooty Babbitt. I can't say I've heard of him. That's a name I would have thought I'd remember, but I don't at the moment here. Renee Latchman, Steve Nicosia, another Lee Mazzilli, Alfredo Griffin, Pete Rose, Diamond King. I know he's not in the Hall, but that's worthy of putting aside. Wayne Garland and Tommy Lasorda, who is in the Hall of Fame for managing the Dodgers for like 400 years. It's a nice card. All right, so we have one more shot here at finding a Cal Ripken, at least in this video. And there's Babe Ruth's mouth. Okay, so we have Denny Walling, Enos Cabell, who we found a sticker of him earlier, Steve Trout, Glenn Adams, Dave Garcia. We have a Bronx Bombers card of Mr. October, and as he was affectionately called by, or actually probably not affectionately called by George Steinbrenner, Dave Winfield, Mr. May. Tim Wallach, John Candelaria, Renee Martin, Jim Clancy, another Dale Murphy. So we hit a Dale Murphy in all three. Too bad it wasn't Cal Ripken in all three. Terry Crowley, Tommy Herr, Steve McCaddy, and Jim Bibby. So that will do it for our baseball packs in this video, as we did not find a Cal Ripken. So now we will move on to football, where, as we mentioned earlier, we will be hoping to find any one of Anthony Munoz, Ronnie Lott, of course, Lawrence Taylor rookie card, a second-year card of Joe Montana would be nice too. And we got some gum stuck to, this is gonna rip, so I will just put this aside. Leroy Irvin record breaker with the gum firmly stuck to the back of that. We have, I think Chris Collinsworth's rookie is in here as well. Okay, so we have, actually, I'm sorry. I threw this aside, but we have a Joe Montana sticker to start us off. Love the hair. All right, so we have Billy Joe Dupree. We have the Bills team leaders. Dan Alexander of the Jets. Raiders team leaders. James Lofton in action. That's a nice card. He's in the Hall of Fame. Charlie Johnson. Jeff Van Note. Gary Finsick. Ross Browner. Ken Stabler, who is in the Hall of Fame. Greg Bingham. Scott Bruner. Joe Danello. And another Hall of Famer in Randy White. All right, so we found a few Hall of Famers in that pack. So let's go on to our next one. The Lawrence Taylor card has just gone through the roof. I think it's up to about 5,000 now in a PSA 10. So that would be quite a card to find, to say the least. But never mind the fact that I'm a huge Giants fan and he's one of my all-time favorite players, as this guy is here, Nolan Cromwell. I was always I mentioned it in other videos. I've always been a big fan of his. All right, so we have Rick Upchurch, Everson Walls, who eventually won a Super Bowl with the Giants in 1990. Dan Fouts, who's in the Hall of Fame. Jim Zorn, an action card. Doug English, Pat Tilley, Carl Roaches, Randy Logan, Tony Nathan, Andy Johnson, John Matuszek, Derlin Moore, Kellen Winslow, who is in the Hall of Fame, Neil Lomax, and Charlie Joyner. All right, so no real big ones in there. We found a couple Hall of Famers. We'll move on to our next pack. Comes all interesting how it's like burned looking in that pack there. So what do we have for here? We have a Tom Scuderi, who I'm assuming was a kicker. He was a punter. Close. Brad Booty. Gifford Nielsen, who was a backup quarterback for years in the NFL. Wesley Walker, he was quite good with the Jets for many, many years, well into the mid to late 80s, I want to say. And he was really good. Dennis Thurman, John Riggins, that's the Hall of Famer. Tony Franklin, barefooter. We have interception leaders with John Harris and Everson Walls. Jan Stenerud, who kicked for 1,000 years. I do believe he is in the Hall of Fame. I believe this guy's in the Hall of Fame too, although I always confuse him and Jack. Although they might both be in. I'll put him aside. Butch Johnson, Marvin Powell, he was quite good. Another Tony Nathan, Mike Nelms, Matt Cavanaugh, and Andra Franklin. So nothing terribly big in there. All right, so we got one more pack of our football. Let's separate these. We have a Tommy Kramer sticker. We have Ted Brown, Pete Johnson. We have a Randy White in action. Dave Waymer, Bill Courier, Chuck Muncie, Joe Theismann. That's a nice card. Ralph Benershka in action. Tony Collins, Freddie Scott, Ray Wershing, Dave Logan, Herman Edwards, Brian Sipe and Tim Fox ends our football. So we did not find anything terribly huge in our football packs there. But we did find some nice Hall of Fame cards. All right, so now we are on to our last group of packs here, which is our hockey, OPC hockey, and we would be looking for, well, we're hoping to find either a Dale Hawerchuk, Grant Fuhr, Joe Mullen rookies. They've all eluded us to this point in time. Of course, Ron Francis is the big rookie, and this would be a fourth-year Gretzky card, which is a nice card. We have yet to find that one. So maybe we'll find one of, if not any more of those cards. And these, oh, is that a Joe Mullen on the back here? Oh boy, what a shame. I have had a lot of trouble getting the gum off these packs. I've been lucky in that the gum has been stuck to cards of real, not any real significance each time, but I believe I have found a Joe Mullen rookie that has gum plastered all over it. So I guess this will get stuck in the freezer in hopes of getting this gum off, because it would be pretty nice if I could preserve this card. It actually looks, let's see, we'll check this. Yeah, the surface looks very nice. I mean, it's a little off center. A lot of these cards are, these 82s, they seem to be heavy either left or right. And this one is off. That's too bad. Well, maybe we'll have some luck getting the gum off it. Certainly give it a try in the freezer, like I said. Okay, so we have Glenn Anderson, who is in the Hall of Fame. We have Dale Hunter, who I really don't have a lot of great things to say about, being an Islander fan. John Ogrodnik, Dwight Foster, Dennis Sir, Bobby Clark, wow. That's really nice. This is probably his last card. I mean, I could be wrong about that. But I can't say that I have ever come across a Bobby Clark card. At least I don't recall doing that. That's pretty nice. All right, I got a Bob Mcmillan here. Lindy Ruff, who I think he still is coaching somewhere. I could be wrong about that, but I mean, he coached the Sabres for forever, like what, 16, 17, 18 years, something like that. Ryan Walter, he was a good player. Steve Weeks and Doug Wilson. We actually found his rookie card. We found two of his rookie cards in the same break just a couple weeks ago. I mean, he's a Hall of Famer. All right, so that was a good pack. It was a very good pack. It'd be even better if I can get the gum off the Joe Mullen card. And the gum on this one, well, I had it moving, had it almost off. Well, it popped now. I'm not going to try to force it. I have an Anders Hedberg, and the gum is stuck to that, but we will give that one a shot as well. All right, so we have a Mark Howe, who is the son of Gordie Howe, Mr. Hockey. I don't know if Mark is in the Hall of Fame. I don't think he is. I mean, I know he played a really long time, but I don't think he is in the Hockey Hall of Fame. Okay, we have Risto Siltanen, Rayo Ruotsalainen, Greg Smith, Real Cloutier, Steve Payne. Oh, there's a real nice one. Again, it's off center, but this is the first time we pulled this card. This is a third-year Ray Bourque. And it's interesting, his card is card number 7. And he was wearing 7 until they retired Phil Esposito. And then Ray switched to 77. And we have another Hall of Famer here in Mr. Lanny McDonald. Steve Casper And Dale Mccourt, who had a very solid career as well. Good card. All right, so we've done okay so far. We found some really nice ones in our hockey packs here. Okay, this is... Who is our gum card here? Keith Crowder. Gum's coming off. That's some stain too. I mean, even if I get the gum off that Joe Mullen card, who knows what the back of it's going to actually end up looking like. But the gum did come off this. So I was able to actually preserve Keith Crowder to some extent. So we have Lucien Deblois, Dan Maloney, Mike Liut, Rick St. Croix, or St. Croix, if I'm spelling or pronouncing that incorrectly, Pat Hickey, and here is a beauty. Again, off center. Same way all these cards have been off thicker on the left. But this is very exciting, to say the least. I think this is the first one of these I've owned. That is super nice. This card is really sharp, too. That is beyond awesome. All right, so moving on here, we have a Tom Lysak, and we have a Dino Ciccarelli second-year card. This is another really nice one. I think, yeah, this is second year. His rookie card was in the 81 set. So that's really nice. Jim Korn. We have a John Van Boxmeer in action and a Ray Bourque in action. So that was a super nice pack. And we got one more to go. We got another Pat Hickey here. And we have an Islander on the back with, again, with gum all over. Yeah, this gum is solidly on the card. So that is a look at Thomas Janssen, and this card actually looks centered better than most of the other ones were. But it has a huge piece of gum on it, which I think every one of the 82 packs, the back card has had the gum stuck to it. But actually, I'm thinking about it. This was one that actually failed, or I'm sorry, not failed, but suffered the consequence of me not being able to get the gum off it at all. And the card actually, I had to get rid of it because it just got torn so badly. So now I have one that's not. All right, so we have a Pat Hickey, Willie Huber, Don Spring, Don Bonar. We have a Doug Wilson in action card. That's nice. Greg Fox, Thomas Steen, Aaron Broughton. Now, did the Devils not have their names on the back of their jerseys their first year? That would be an interesting piece of information. I'm not aware of that, if that is the case. I think this is Aaron Broughton's rookie card, too. I think so. All right, so we have Dennis Marock, Bill Clement. I enjoyed his work on TV for an awfully long time. I don't know if he's retired from that, but I don't recall hearing him in quite some time. He worked for ESPN for a very long time. I know he was working for the Flyers, too. He may still do games for the Flyers on TV, but don't quote me on that. John Garrett, who, as I mentioned, was a gum fatality. In, I think the first video I did, I just could not get the gum off, and when I finally started to get it off, it was just tearing everything off the back of the card. I enjoyed listening to him do Canucks games for an awfully long time, along with I know his name is escaping me. I know he does Hockey Night in Canada now, the Canucks play-by-play TV guy for a long time. I think he did some video games too, but yeah, John Garrett worked alongside as the color or analyst. Like I said, he was quite good. And I'm not sure if he still does games for the Canucks on TV. If somebody wants to pass that information along to me, that would be wonderful. But as I said, I enjoyed listening to him for a long time when I had Canadian television. Okay, or when I had the NHL package, rather, for that matter. All right. So let's do a recap here of everything that we found. So for football, we had a Joe Theismann, Randy White in action, Joe Delamayer, Jan Stenerud, John Riggins, Kellen Winslow, Dan Fouts, and Randy White, Ken Stabler, and James Lofton. So we did not hit any of the big rookie cards. For baseball, we found several. We found a Dale Murphy, I think, from all of the manufacturers. We had a nice Bronx Bomber card there. Hall of Famers, Tommy Lasorda. Pete Rose is not in the Hall of Fame, although he's definitely worthy of it, at least in my opinion. I mean, I know he messed up quite a bit, and, you know, I think he got punished, deservedly so, but I think enough time's gone by where they could let him come in. Eddie Murray, Mike Schmidt. We have a San Diego Chicken card, which I thought was kind of cool. And Nolan Ryan, which would be even nicer if it wasn't off-center so much. We got Gaylord Perry in our Fleer cards. Here is our second Dale Murphy. And for our tops, we have Rod Carew, Tim Raines, Jim Rice, George Brett, Keith Hernandez, who's not in the Hall, but this is actually a very, very nicely centered card, and I'm a big fan of Keith Hernandez. I mean, I even still enjoy his work today, doing the games on SNY for the Mets, along with Ron Darling and Gary Cohn. I think they work very, very well together. And here's our Topps Dale Murphy, and our hockey, which I think we did the best out of all the sports here. We got a nice Doug Wilson in action, a nice Ray Bork. We have a Hall of Famer Dino Ciccarelli. We have obviously an awesome Wayne Gretzky card. Lanny McDonald, a very nice Ray Bork card there. Our Doug Wilson regular issue card. Bobby Clark, which, as I said, I think this is the first one that I have ever come across. I didn't even realize he was still playing at this point, but I guess it makes sense. I mean, he was still playing in 1980 when the Flyers played the Islanders in the finals that year. So I guess he managed to get at least one more year in. And Glenn Anderson. And then, of course, we have our Joe Mullen rookie card, which is one of the ones that we mentioned at the beginning that I was hoping to find, and we did. I guess I will attempt to get this off and clean this card up, see if it is salvageable. I hope it is, because I would hate to lose this card. And I suppose in a future video I can let you guys know how I make out with this, but I got my fingers crossed. I hope I can salvage it, because this would be a really nice card to save. So anyway, I know this took a little while. We had a lot of packs to open, but that was 1982 again. As I said, I was hoping to find a bunch of rookies, but I think we did okay. We found some really nice cards, especially in the hockey area of it here. So I want to thank you guys for joining us. Please like and subscribe. I thoroughly enjoyed this break. I hope you did too. And we will see you on Monday with our Modern Monday, and we're actually going to do some more hockey. We finally got a box of 2020 Upper Deck Series 2. So we look forward to bringing that to you, and hopefully we can find some nice cards in there. So enjoy the rest of your weekend, guys, and we will see you on Monday. Thank you so much for watching.